Hello, this is Rachel Oikster and David Schellenberg from the Blue Vote Cafe.
You're listening to the podcast of Democrats Abroad's Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us. My name is Michael Ramos, and I'm the chair of the Democrats Abroad Global Veterans and Military Families Caucus, or what we call VMF. So right now we're in mid-August, and goodness, where does the time go? Okay, for this episode, I recently had a chat with special guest Anna Marie Mattson. Now, Anna Marie lives in Paris, France, and she votes in Texas, the Dallas area, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Anna Marie is also the chair of the Democrats Abroad France VMF caucus, and as such, she leads a motivated group of volunteers to do important things, like advocating on behalf of veterans and service members and military families. And just as importantly, Anna Marie is a founding member of our global VMF caucus back 7 or 8 years ago, I guess. So yeah, kudos to Anna Marie, and a big sincere thank you, Anna Marie, from me, someone who's been there with you at the beginning, for always staying engaged and doing countless hours of volunteering over the years. All right, so have a listen to the Q&A session that I recently had with Anna Marie, and if you live in France and you can spare a few moments of your time to help the U.S. military-connected community, such as purchasing or laying a wreath at one of the many U.S. cemeteries there, as an example. This episode is especially for you. Have a listen. Okay, great. So, Anna Marie, if I'm a Democrats Abroad member and I'm living in France, and I'm interested in joining the VMF caucus in France, what can I expect if I become a member? What kind of activities do we do?
Okay, well, here in Democrats Abroad France, we do a lot of memorial activities. We have more cemeteries in France, U.S. military cemeteries in France, than any other country outside the U.S. So there are 11 to 12 military cemeteries run by the ABMC, which is the American Battle Monuments Commission. So we partner with we really don't we participate in their ceremonies. We have all of our members that we make them aware, first of all, that is one of our main objectives. Our mission is to honor the memory. So we bring them on board, and we have more members of Democrats Abroad France as Americans participating in these ceremonies across France than even the VFW and the American Legion. So that is one of our big missions, okay, is to honor the memory. Another mission is advocacy. We do a lot of advocacy. We here in Democrats Abroad France have done more resolutions and have presented them to the DPCA, the DPCA. And so right now, for example, 2 of our resolutions are being presented at the DPCA. One that we initiated 6 years ago and now has been brought forth by Michael Ramos, the chair of the Global, about Pershing Hall. We've been advocating a lot. We partner with the American Legion to advocate to get Pershing Hall back. It is a building in the middle of the Golden Triangle, which is the prime real estate in Paris. In other words, the prime real estate in France that has been taken away from the Americans, and not just American veterans, but the Americans living in Paris, because it was considered like the second embassy. A lot of American associations had their offices there. And that was a building that was given to practically given, because the U.S. took over the mortgage, and in 1936 we were very happy that happened. The U.S. government saved Pershing Hall in 1936, and then it was run by veterans until 1992. And then in 1992, the government decided to let the VA manage it, and the VA evicted everyone from the building, all the American Association, and decided to turn it over to a real estate company. And we're trying to get that back. So that is one of our big objectives, is advocacy. And then we also have another resolution going forward with anything that happens with our veterans. For example, right now with the VA and this administration terminating 83,000 jobs. In the past, we've done Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We've asked about transgender resolutions. We've passed resolutions about the toll-free hotline. So advocacy is a big part. We have 2 people who advocate on the Hill right now for Pershing Hall. So advocacy. And then a third mission we have here in France is Landstuhl, which is the military hospital 4 hours from Paris. And we help to bring donations to the chaplain's closet. The soldiers or any service member who gets ill or wounded, who is serving abroad, usually in Europe or in Africa, they're all sent to this hospital. And when they get there, there are no lounge, what they call lounge clothes. They're only the robes they use in the hospital. So we help provide the chaplain's closet with clothes for them, and we also cheer and chocolates. We take I go there, and then other members of Democrats Abroad France have gone there with me, and we take chocolates. They love the chocolates. So, and the other activity that we do in Democrats Abroad France are events. We make people aware. For example, we're having an event this month. We're bringing in a colonel from the 10th Mountain Division who served in Afghanistan. He was a former NATO commander. So he's coming to Paris with his wife. And so we partner also with the other veterans associations, with the VFW and the American Legion, to organize events. And the last big event was D-Day. We went to the D-Day commemoration when President Biden was here. So we do that. Those are, I guess, our 4 main activities. And of course, getting out the vote. We don't have any military in France except the soldiers, the Marines who work at the embassy. So basically, we work with the other chapters. We work with the other caucuses here in France to get out the vote, and also with our own caucus to make sure that our members get all what they need to get out the vote. We would also love to help other countries in helping them get out the vote where there are bases, but there are no bases here in France. So that's what we do.
Okay, yeah, let's back up for a minute. Yeah, thank you for all that information. So when you emphasize that first point about the cemeteries and laying wreaths for America's fallen service members, and there appear to be a dozen different ABMC cemeteries within France. That is a
Yes.
huge mission, and it's super important. And I don't think the average American realizes that's a critical part of the mission of what we do within VMF, whether it's global or in France or within the American Legion or VFW or whatever. We can never forget and thank and respect our fellow comrades who have fallen in combat. So I'd like to say thank you for that. Okay, folks, just a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more of my conversation with Anna Marie Mattson.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Scammers exploit chances to commit fraud, like predatory law firms and non-accredited representatives targeting veterans and their survivors by offering to get you VA benefits. Report suspected fraud at va.gov/OIG/hotline. Learn about General Counsel accreditation at va.gov.
And we're back. Okay, so question for you. If I'm interested in everything that you just said, for example, I'm a Democrats Abroad France member. I'm living in France. I'm interested in joining the France VMF caucus, and I like everything that you just said. Now, if I say, I'd like to put my hand up to volunteer, but I'm not really sure. Like, do you need my skill set, or do you have a priority need right now? Or can I just say, hey, I'd like to do social media, or hey, I'd like to write an article, or hey, I'd like to, contribute a wreath for Veterans Day. Like, do you tell volunteers what needs to be done, or can they offer, suggestions for you, and then you kind of provide guidance? How does that work?
Okay, well, basically, right now, we need communication skills because one of our members, Tilly Gaillard, she was the one that was always doing all of our content. She passed away, and
Oh, I'm
so
sorry to hear that.
yeah, she was really active. She was also very active in the global caucus. So she was my right hand. She was our right hand writer, I guess. She was the one that was helping us draft resolutions. And so basically, right now, if we need any help, it's with content. If people want to volunteer, there's also, if they want to help organize events, that would also help our caucus. It's really hard to get people that everybody would like to say, oh yeah, I'd like to volunteer, but then to get them committed and engaged is another story. So we want to make sure that the people that do say they want to volunteer, that they're committed and engaged in the mission, so that we can count on them. We don't have to go around prodding them or it's like, okay, we need this article. Can you do it like in 3 days or a week or something like that? I mean, it's hard because people are volunteers and people have other things and jobs and family and other priorities. So sometimes it's really hard to find people that are committed and engaged. So basically, I like to work with a small group of people who are committed and engaged, and that you can trust that when they say they'll do something, that it'll get done.
All right. And like you said earlier, so France does not have any US military installations. I'm glad to hear you say that if there are volunteers available, you're happy to jump in a car and go to Germany or Spain or whatever and help out if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not always practicable. But it's nice to hear that, VMF members and any American who cares about increasing voter turnout and voter registrations at those military installations in your neighboring countries, that they have, allies living adjacent to them. So that's really happy to hear that you're kind of right in the middle of, where we do have bases, whether it be England or, yeah, we have one base in Portugal, a couple in Spain, several in Germany, and so forth. So you're kind of right in the middle of that. So I guess I would suggest that for those Democrats Abroad France members who live on those border areas, if you can, please do, help us get out the vote with our service members and their, military spouses and dependents in the neighboring countries, if you can. Of course, reach out to us and we can, help facilitate that conversation and so forth. Okay, so Anna Marie, another thing that you had mentioned was Landstuhl. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the whole concept of this is a big military hospital, as you mentioned. It's in
Mm-hmm.
Germany, and it's to take care of our wounded warriors who always it's really disgraceful actually that our government is not providing everything that they need. And so this chaplain's closet you're talking about, this is a really good thing that you're doing. And I just want to say thanks for taking the lead on that. And I think that, the more that people learn about the need for items at the chaplain's closet, the more that they'll reach out to you or, possibly contribute items of clothing and, so forth. So yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, so let me ask you one more question. How do people learn more? Like, do they find you on social media, or did they have to send you an email, or did they have to live in Paris? How do they find out more if they want to ask you additional questions?
Well, they can just email us. We're on the website. They can find our email address. We have a caucus, what they call news. So basically, they can find us on the website. That's the best way, I guess, to find us on the website and contact us on the website and send us an email and say we'd like to volunteer. Yeah,
But okay, so the best way to reach out to you for extra questions or to request additional information is to simply email you. Yeah?
Right. Yeah, just email us. We also have communications. We have WhatsApp groups, and that's very active in the sense of we started that with the D-Day a group. We had 2 buses, over 120 people that went to the D-Day commemoration in Normandy. So we have a WhatsApp group there, and my brother is very active with content. So, and I post a lot there. It just seems like people today are more communicative by these chat groups. So we also have a Signal group, but that's so if people would like either this WhatsApp group seems to work best for people. So that's one way we communicate all the time is through these chat groups.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so if anybody's listening that lives in France and wants to join the Democrats Abroad France VMF caucus Signal group, send an email and you can get an invite. I guess once it's confirmed, who you are and that you're a member. And same thing with the Global Caucus as well. We have a Signal group as well, and we're happy to accept our members into the group if you just shoot us an email. Okay, Anna Marie. So thank you for your time, and appreciate it. Do you have any final comments you'd like to make?
Well, I think that also a good way for anybody is to contact the Global Caucus because, if we can't help you in Democrats Abroad France, we can certainly help you because you're not living in France, but you would like to become more involved. We can also perhaps start a caucus in your countries because that's how we are an elected caucus. I have an elected position. So I think that one of the big missions of Democrats Abroad is to have more leadership within the organization. That means having a caucus, organizing a caucus within your country, and if not, then at least try to change your bylaws and have a caucus sort of representation where a veteran can be on the XCOM of your country committee. I think it's very important. I think we need more representation in Democrats Abroad of veterans and military families. I don't think our voice is getting heard as much as it could be in Democrats Abroad. I think we really need to work on that.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, Michael. I hope this is okay.
So there you go. It sounds like there are plenty of volunteering activities to do in France. I'm super grateful to Anna Marie for taking the time to join me on the podcast. And hopefully you're more inspired to take action on a variety of things like legislative advocacy, visiting Pershing Hall, planning events like the annual Normandy remembrance ceremonies, and more. And if you missed our previous episode, we chatted with Lucia Perez in Democrats Abroad Spain to hear what's been happening there. Check that one out too. Okay, thanks everyone. And feel free to provide us with any feedback you have. We'll be back again soon. Until next time.